Prabhupada's japa tape?
Yes.
Japa tape is on.
Huh?
Prabhupada chanting japa.
Who's playing that? Or is it on the system?
Hmm? We can't hear you.
Hare Krishna, can you hear me, Prabhu? Okay, good. Okay, so Ananda Bihari Prabhu was just bringing up the verses. We'll be reading today from the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 40. I believe the verses are 27 through 30 today. We're finishing out this chapter of Akrura's prayers, Akrura's celebrated prayers. So,
Do you see the verses, Prabhu?
I can see them, Prabhu. Yes.
Okay, cool.
Thank you so much. Okay, so we'll go ahead and read through these verses. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Notsaheham kripanadihi kama karma hatam manaha rodum pramati bishchakshair priyamanam itastataha. Translation for the disciples of Srila Prabhupada. My intelligence is so crippled that I cannot find the strength to curb my mind, which is disturbed by material desires and activities, and constantly dragged here and there by my obstinate senses. Next verse. Soham tavangryupagatos myasatam durapam tatchapyaham bavad anugraha isha manye pumso bhavid yarhi samsarana pavargas Tvayabjanadha sad upasanaya mati syat. Translation. Being thus fallen, I am approaching your feet for shelter, O Lord, because although the impure can never attain your feet, I think it is nevertheless possible by your mercy. Only when one's material life has ceased, O lotus-naveled Lord, can one develop consciousness of you by serving your pure devotees. Text 29. Namo Vijnana Matraya Sarva Pratyaya Hetave Purushesha Pradhanaya Brahmane Nanta Shaktaye. Translation. Obeisances to the supreme absolute truth, the possessor of unlimited energies. He is the embodiment of pure transcendental knowledge, the source of all kinds of awareness, and the predominator of the forces of nature that rule over the living being. And the final verse for today, and the final verse of these prayers. Namaste Vasudevaya Sarvabhuta Shayaya Cha Rishikesha Namastubhyam Prapanam Pahimam Prabho. Translation. O son of Vasudev, obeisances to you, within whom all living beings reside. O Lord of the mind and senses, again I offer you my obeisances. O Master, please protect me, who am surrendered unto you. Thus end the purports of the humble servants of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada to the 10th canto, 40th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled The Prayers of Akrura. Om Agyanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Parakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitam Scha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gorangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanshakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nite Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatyadesh. So before we begin, just like to humbly request and seek everyone's blessings, well wishes, so that we can have a meaningful, inspiring dialogue today that is faithful to the Shastra, that is pleasing to the devotees, that is pleasing to Guru and Krishna. I'd like to seek the blessings of Adi Purusha Prabhu, all the senior Vaishnavas, and so grateful for your presence with us in this assembly, and like to seek everyone's blessings, because this is a collective gathering, collective effort this morning to glorify Krishna in the scriptures. So these concluding verses of Akrura's prayers they're so deeply relatable, because they really summarize the feelings of one who is traveling through this world with conditioning, with some obstacles. Of course, we know that Akrura is a pure devotee of the Lord, but he is speaking in such a way that is really giving voice to the struggle of one who is traveling through this world, carrying, you can say, like, the weight of conditioning, and wanting to attain the supreme goal, but not knowing quite how to proceed. And we'll see in the verses that follow, he does establish his hope, which is the mercy of the devotees of the Lord. So we travel through life with such conditioning, and it's something that is very insidious, in the sense that usually when we're acquiring our conditioning, all of us can think individually. We all have different degrees of connection to conditioning. Some devotees have shed their conditioning more. Some devotees are carrying it with them very strongly. But nevertheless, we can look back on our lives and see kind of where we picked up the conditioning. It may be from previous lifetimes. That's also something that does happen. That's also possible. But quite often it's something that we pick up within this very lifetime. It's almost like you think of someone, who, suffers from some chronic illness that started with an infection or something like that. And they can think back to when they first got that infection. Like, for example, my father He has an eye condition, very bad eye condition that has really taken a lot of energy and effort and surgery procedures in his life, and has caused him, a lot of difficulty. And he first picked up that condition from when he got an eye infection, and he can still remember the particular time and place and circumstance when he first had that eye infection. And at the time, it seemed like something very minor. But as time went on, it proved to be something that kind of generated this chronic condition that he lives with. So for so many of us, we can think back to just a certain time, place, and circumstance where maybe we were picking up some conditioning that's still with us to this day, some attachment that still has its roots within us. Even though by Krishna's grace, we have the ability to recognize that our conditioning is not us. And that in and of itself is just tremendously freeing and spiritually beneficial and hope-giving. But at the same time, when we just stand back and acknowledge whatever conditioning may be traveling through life with us, we can see kind of where it took root. And quite often it's in a way that felt very harmless at the time, or felt very minor at the time. But these attachments do grow and take shape, and quite often can present difficulties. The good news, and this is what Akrura himself expresses, and he expresses so beautifully, I'm paraphrasing here, but he says, I don't know how someone who is impure, someone who is conditioned, can attain your mercy, but I know, I have faith and hope that it's possible by the mercy of your devotees. So Srila Prabhupada, who is a devotee among devotees, of course, Srila Prabhupada gives this statement. At one point he said, "Don't worry, I can kick out any obstacles that stand in the way of your spiritual path." So Srila Prabhupada, for him, something that appears to us to be so big and insurmountable, for him is very, very small. And for the mercy of a devotee, these obstacles are completely surmountable, can be passed, can be completely blown away by this unstoppable flow of mercy. So there's also that verse that says, by the mercy of the Guru, one who cannot speak can speak. By the mercy of the Guru, one who is not able to walk can climb a mountain. Right? So in this same way, the mercy of the devotees is something that can very easily cut through any obstacles or any difficulties that we're experiencing on the spiritual path. And the mercy of the devotees also is closely related to the mercy of Krishna. So the mercy of Krishna is also extremely, extremely deep and flowing and unlimited. But we understand that the devotees are sometimes more merciful than Krishna, or at least that the mercy of the devotees can attract the mercy of Krishna. So one example is in the case of Ambarish Maharaj and Durvasa Muni. So Ambarish Maharaj is a great pious king, a devotee king, and he offends Durvasa Muni, who, as we know in Srimad Bhagavatam, is a great sage, but also is inclined toward having a temper. So he takes offense easily. Devotees don't take offense so easily. Those who are taking offense easily can be quite wrathful. So what happens is that Ambarish Maharaj offends Durvasa Muni by a very small action. And what happens is that Durvasa Muni then further offends Ambarish Maharaj, far worse. And since Ambarish Maharaj is a pure devotee, Krishna sends his Sudarshan Chakra after Durvasa Muni, his spiritual weapon, his disc. And that Sudarshan Chakra is chasing Durvasa Muni all throughout the world, all throughout the universe. He's being pursued by this Sudarshan Chakra, which is generating such heat and such fear in the heart of Durvasa Muni. So Durvasa Muni, since he is a sage, he's able to approach the divine personalities, the demigods. He's able to approach actually the Supreme Lord, as we'll see. he goes to Lord Brahma. He says, Brahma, please help me. The Sudarshan chakra is pursuing me. Brahma says, no, I can't do anything. I'm so sorry. Maybe you want to go to Lord Shiva. So he goes to Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva says, no, I'm so sorry. I can't help you. You need to go to Lord Narayan yourself. So he goes to Lord Narayan and he says, your Sudarshan chakra has been pursuing me. Lord, please, I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. Please stop this pursuit with the Sudarshan chakra. Lord Narayan goes on to say, actually, you offended my devotee. You offended Maharaj Ambarish. And your only hope is going to him. And if he chooses to forgive you, then this Sudarshan chakra can be pulled back. But I can't pull it back myself, even if I forgive you. So he approaches finally Maharaj Ambarish, and he says, Maharaj Ambarish, I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. I've offended you. The Sudarshan chakra has been pursuing me. I have no hope unless you forgive me. And Maharaj Ambarish, in the mood of a Vaishnava, readily, eagerly, immediately forgives. He says, oh, this has caused you some difficulty? You're being pursued by the Sudarshan chakra? Oh, okay. I absolutely, I forgive you. So you see, the mercy of the devotees is so strong. And the mercy of devotees, you know, we hear in our morning Mangal Arti, the prayer, Yasya prasadad bhagavat prasadad, Yasya prasadad nagati kutopi. So in this way, that by the mercy of Krishna, one gets the Guru, but also by the mercy of Guru, one gets Krishna. So these types of mercy are very much intertwined. So I thought I would read something that really just establishes, we'll share a few passages that just establish so deeply how profound the mercy of devotees is, how much we depend upon the mercy of devotees. Because the mercy of devotees is the reason for our confidence, just as it was the reason for the confidence in these verses that Akrura is expressing. We can have full confidence. My spiritual master, he once said that we try to balance out humility and confidence on the spiritual path. And sometimes it's hard to understand that balance. But he summarized, he said that we can have full confidence in spiritual life, knowing the caliber of the mercy that we have received. So we've received such mercy from the devotees, such mercy from our Guru, such mercy from Srila Prabhupada. And that mercy is always flowing. So therefore, we can proceed with confidence. Like a nectar of instruction, it says, Utsahan nischaya daryat tatat karma pravartana sangatyagat sato vritte sadbir bhaktir prasidyati. That these are the things that help us on the spiritual path to endeavor with confidence, patience, enthusiasm. So in this way, we can proceed with confidence, knowing the caliber of the mercy that we are receiving at present, always receiving. And at the same time, we remain humble, knowing that without that mercy, we have nothing. We have nothing on the spiritual path without that mercy. So that's the balance of enthusiasm and confidence, but also humility. So we'll share here a few passages. So this is something coming from a song of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And this is from his text, Kalyana Kalpataru. The song is called Uchasa, Emotion. And it really beautifully establishes the mechanism by which the devotees have mercy upon us and how that mercy leads to the mercy of Krishna. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur really charts this so precisely and beautifully in this song. So I'll just chant this song. Kabe Shri Chaitanya More Karibena Daya Kabi Ami Paiba Vaishnava Padachaya. When will Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu bestow mercy upon me so that I will receive shade at the lotus feet of the Vaishnavas? Kabe Ami Chadiba Evi Shaya Bimana Kabe Vishnu Jane Ami Kariba Sanmana. When will I give up my pride of material enjoyment? When will I be able to show respect to the devotees of Lord Vishnu? Gala Vastra Kritanjali Vaishnava Nikate Dante trinakari dandaiva nishkapate. As soon as I see a Vaishnava, I will put a cloth around my neck, hold a straw between my teeth, and with folded hands stand before him without duplicity. Kandiya kandiya janaiva dukkha grama samsara anala haite magiba vishrama. While crying, I will relate to him the miserable condition of my life, and I will beg that he grant me respite from the fire of material existence. Shuniya amara dukkha Vaishnava takura amalagi Krishna avedi bena prachura. After hearing about my distressful condition of life, the merciful Vaishnava will pray to Lord Krishna for my welfare. Vaishnavera avedane Krishna daya maya ehena pamara pratihabena sadaya. By hearing the prayers of the Vaishnava, the most merciful Krishna will become compassionate towards this most sinful person. Vinodera nivedana Vaishnava charane kripakari sangelaha e akinchane. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur prays at the lotus feet of the Vaishnavas. Kindly give your association to this beggar. Such a beautiful song, beautiful prayer. So this really indicates how our interactions with the devotees, the way that we can stand before them without duplicity. This is such an important emphasis. Without duplicity, share our difficulties, share our life, share whatever it is that we're facing on our path. If we can share that with trusted devotees, then their compassion will naturally lead to their prayers for us. And that will naturally lead to Krishna hearing their prayers and Krishna honoring their prayers. Because the devotees are so dear to Krishna that he is completely, and in higher levels, Krishna says that he's controlled by the love of his devotees. So we understand that this is such a powerful force that Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. This is chapter 9, text number 29. He says, I envy no one, nor am I partial to anyone. I am equal to all, but whoever renders service unto me in devotion is a friend, is in me, and I am also a friend to him. So Krishna makes an exception to his own statement here within the same verse. I envy no one, nor am I partial to anyone. I am equal to all. And then he says, but he makes this exception. But whoever renders service unto me in devotion is a friend. Right? So, and Krishna says that his devotees are in him. So we in our own existence as jivas, we have Paramatma. Krishna is within each and every one of us as Paramatma, the localized presence of the Lord, guiding us from within. Krishna is absolute. Krishna doesn't have body, mind, and soul. Krishna is Krishna. He's not compartmentalized in the same way that we are as spirit souls moving through this world in a material, embodied nature. So Krishna is absolute, but at the same time, from within, Krishna welcomes the devotees. Krishna opens his heart so that the devotees can reside within his heart. He agrees to do this. He wants to do this. He allows himself to be guided from within on some occasions by his pure devotees. How incredible is that? How wonderful is Krishna, Adi Purusha Prabhu would say. So this is a moment to establish how wonderful is Krishna. So in his purport to this verse, Srila Prabhupada says, he is just like a cloud. This is Krishna. He is just like a cloud which pours rain all over, regardless of whether it falls on rock or land or water. But for his devotees, he gives specific attention. Such devotees are mentioned here. They are always in Krishna consciousness, and therefore they are always transcendentally situated in Krishna. The very phrase Krishna consciousness suggests that those who are in such consciousness are living transcendentalists situated in him. The Lord says here distinctly, Mai te, they are in me. So when we connect with devotees, we have all hope. We have all hope on the spiritual path because the pure devotees of the Lord, they are within him. So just as in his Radhastami lecture, Srila Prabhupada, of course, Srimati Radharani is the highest of all devotees. So in Radhastami lecture, Srila Prabhupada says that Srimati Radharani personally recommends the devotees to Krishna. And not only saying, oh, this is a wonderful devotee, you should accept them. He said, Srimati Radharani, in all of her compassion, her inconceivable mercy, says, you should accept this devotee. They're actually better than me. So how can we even conceive of this level of mercy? How can we even conceive this level of compassion, of care? So the mercy of the devotees is, we have vancha kalpa tarubhyascha. So the devotees are kalpa taru. They're desire trees. They give and give. And of course, sometimes we become fearful as aspiring devotees. What's it going to be like for me to give and give? Scary. Will I lose something? But what we see is that the society that Srila Prabhupada sought to establish is one in which everyone is giving. Everyone is giving their all. So there's no question of some uneven exchange. In the ideal sense, of course, we may encounter difficult situations, but the ideal is that we're all giving equally. So therefore, everyone wins. Everyone is able to work together and receive all of this mercy that is so naturally flowing. So just wanted to add that we're about to enter into the month of Kartik. And in Damodarashtakam, Krishna also establishes, in this Damodar Leela in general, Krishna establishes how he's controlled by the love of his devotees. He agrees to be bound by Mother Yashoda. So in Damodarashtakam, third verse, Iti driksvalila birananda kunde swago shamni majantam akyapayantam tadiye shitayeshu bhakter jitatvam puna prematastam tatsata vritti vande. So the translation to this, Krishna says, this is Satyavrata, by such childhood pastimes as this, he is drowning the inhabitants of Gokul in pools of ecstasy and is revealing to those devotees who are absorbed in knowledge of his supreme majesty and opulence that he is only conquered by devotees whose pure love is imbued with intimacy and is free from all conceptions of awe and reverence. With great love, I again offer my obeisances to Lord Damodar hundreds and hundreds of times. So Krishna is making clear through this Damodar Leela that he is conquered by the love of his devotees. So how can we become hopeless? If we have been favored by devotees, then we have all hope. And that's why our relationships with devotees are so precious. So I feel so grateful in my life for all of the opportunities to be with devotees that I've had, all of the devotees who have shown kindness and compassion. And this is a daily gratitude because I know, and we know that these prayers, this compassion of the devotees, that's what's sustaining us. When we're having a bad day, we can remember there are devotees out there who care for us. There are devotees out there who are praying for us. And this is so special. And we have all these wonderful relationships with devotees. We have devotees who are on our same level in terms of spiritual progress. We have devotees who are senior and devotees who are newer to the process than we are. And we get to have meaningful exchanges at every step. Because for those who are a bit newer to the path, we get to offer them encouragement, guidance, help them however we can. Devotees who are on equal level spiritually in terms of their progress and their involvement in the spiritual path, we have friendships. We have friendships. We get to share about what it's like to be on the spiritual path. Inspirations, share reflections, share challenges, share in that way and encourage each other. And finally, to the senior devotees, we inquire toward them. We share our burning questions, whatever's within our heart. We share those questions. We seek clarity from them. We inquire sincerely, and we try to serve them. We follow their example. We watch their example and become inspired. So there are so many beautiful interactions to be had. And I'll just share one final passage here. This is from Chaitanya Charitamrita. This is Madhya Lila, and this is, I believe, chapter 22, text number 15, using the paper book here, which feels nice. Something very special about touching these sacred texts. Madhya Lila, chapter 22. Is that what it is? Okay, I'm sorry, I got the verse wrong here. One moment, my screen will turn off, but I'll get it for us. Okay. So it's 2254, pardon me. 2254. And it says, the verdict of all revealed scriptures is that by even a moment's association with a pure devotee, one can attain all success. And the purport says, according to astronomical calculations, a lava, because that's in the text here, even for a moment, lava matra. So a lava is 1/11 of a second. So we can really contemplate just the power of the association of the devotees. 1/11 of a second with a pure devotee can assure us of success on the spiritual path. So we feel so grateful for the Sangha that Srila Prabhupada has opened up for us, that he has created this Sangha, this movement by which we can all have devotee association. So these are just some thoughts. Really, in Akrura's prayers, his hope based on the mercy of the devotees and ultimately the mercy of Krishna is so encouraging. It's just so encouraging to hear this. And we can see that in a great personality like Akrura, who is celebrated for his perfect example of Vandanam and for his perfect example of praying to the Lord in this way, as we've just read. And he ends his prayers on such an encouraging note. So in the same way, we can try to carry this feeling of encouragement, this feeling of hope and inspiration, knowing just how strong the mercy of the devotees is, and how Krishna is so favorably disposed toward his devotees that they are in him. So thank you all so much. I'd like to open things up for everyone's reflections, sharing, anything at all is really welcome and appreciated. Hare Krishna. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Thank you, Dina Bandhu Prabhu. A wonderful class. We will listen, and me and my wife, Chinmay Radha, is here, and she told me, Dina Bandhu Prabhu is so intelligent. He's so gentle. Please don't say anything stupid while commenting on the class. So we're praying that...
Hare Krishna, Chinmay Radha. You're so kind. Thank you. Again, see the blessings of the devotees are always flowing. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dina Bandhu Prabhu. Bhima Prabhu is here. Okay. All right, dear devotees, it's your turn. Time to reflect, ask intelligent and pertinent questions. Bhima Prabhu?
I just wanted to see, can you hear me okay, by the way? I'm
Yeah.
out in the field. I just wanted to say that I always find it amazing that when we begin the class, there's only a certain amount of minutes left to speak. And then I always get anxious, rather impatient, when the devotee given the class starts doing all the prayers. And I'm like, geez, leave some time left to talk to us, And then we get that the prayers done, and then there's the reading of the verses and then the Sanskrit. And I'm like, what is it, 2 minutes left? Whatever time is left, it is amazing. People like Dina Bandhu, they speak. And it's almost, it's my cup overfloweth. I've got enough for the day. We take away from it one important lesson today, which is the preciousness of devotee association, of sadhu sangha, how precious it is. And some of us, or the tendency is, of course, to take it for granted. But I'll tell you something, when you're without it for a long period of time, and then you come back into devotee association, it is like coming back into another world. It's almost the guarantee. Adi Purush is always saying that one quote, if he would remember it when he gets on, that there is another world. There is another world, and we have to be convinced of that. And nothing is so convincing than the love and the confidence, the encouragement that being in the association of devotees gives, that there is indeed another world, and that world is within the loving affection and instruction and example of the other devotees when we are around them. So I would like to say that I really appreciate Dina Bandhu bringing that home for us, how valuable it is. And every time I do visit New York City, I am reminded again and again, it's almost like coming up from underneath the water. You know, you hold your breath when you're in the ocean. This is my association right here. It's like holding your breath, and then you come up and you get air, and that's what it's like being in the association of devotees. Thank you very much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Bhima Prabhu. Thank you so much for your comments, and really hoping to meet you in person someday when you're in New York. When you said when I come to New York, I got excited, and I was thinking, oh, okay, I have to make sure I'm there when that happens.
He comes on Sundays when it's easy to park.
Okay.
And he still gets his ticket still somehow or other. Yeah.
It wouldn't be New York otherwise. Yeah. Thank you so much, Bhima Prabhu. Thank you. Yeah, and I appreciate your perspective of, speaking about what it's like, to be away from the Sangha of the devotees for some time, and how that really has amplified, the depth of your appreciation for that Sangha. That's really heartening to hear and beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you, Dina Bandhu Prabhu. Adi Purush Prabhu, you wanted to say something? Besides how wonderful is Krishna?
Okay, thank you very much. Fantastic class. Very refreshing to hear from you. You brought up 2 points. We're only reflecting what you already explained about the value of, and in his prayers, of course, is pointing out the benefit of humility. There's a pastime in the Bible where somebody approaches Jesus and said, I'm fasting every week, and I'm giving donations to the temple, and I'm coming to the program, and I'm saying so many prayers. What else should I do? He was a very wealthy man, and Jesus said to him, what you should do is give away everything you have and come and follow me. I want you. And the man kind of slurks away, and he's overwhelmed by that instruction. He asked for it, the Lord gave it to him, and then Jesus said, it's very difficult, more difficult for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than for a person who's attached to wealth, possessions, and posture in this world to enter into the kingdom of God. And in Jerusalem, there's a gate. There was a gate around, a wall around the city, and there's one gate that they leave open at night. It's called the eye of the needle, because sometimes these dacoits would come stampeding through with a whole gang of thieves on their camels or horses, and they would ride into a village and pillage and rape and do all these kinds of nasty things. But at the eye of the needle, the gate they kept open at night, for a camel to go through there, the camel would have to take off all the baggage and kneel down and kind of crawl through there, so that you couldn't have people stampeding in to do nonsense. So that we have to similarly, according to the instruction of Scripture, if we want to enter into the spiritual life, the component of humility is there. You mentioned humility and then mercy. And the mercy is abundantly available. But just like in the 12-step meeting, they say, the first step is, before you
it's beyond me.
Is that recognizing the higher power?
No, that's
No.
later. The first step is to understand I've got a problem. I need help. I can't stop. Before that, there's denial. I don't have a problem. I don't know. But then when we realize we have a problem, that's the beginning, the humility. And then the second step is to understand that there's a higher power available that can help us. And then to turn our life over to that higher power, piece by piece, whatever we can do to go forward. So the first step is that humility, and that gives us access. So that's an important component. And you also mentioned the thing about Devasa Muni taking offense. And there's an interesting thing Srila Prabhupada said. He said, if somebody offends you, that's their ignorance. But if you take it as an offense, that's your ignorance, right? So as devotees, we think, well, whatever comes, I deserve it. I deserve a lot worse, and let me go on with my service, right? That's Tateto Kampam Shushimikshimano, that verse. Not accepting anything as offensive. Devasa Muni was abominably offensive to Ambarish Maharaj, but he didn't think, oh, he has offended me. So it's kind of interesting what it means to be a devotee. Humility, so that we have access to the mercy that Krishna is offering us, and then not seeing anything as what I don't deserve that. I deserve better. I've been thrown out of better places than this, they say. Anyway, all glories to Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for your thoughts, Hare Purusha Prabhu. And what it really drew out so wonderfully when you're talking about, it's not about our individual kind of qualification. It's more reliant upon humility and mercy. Our spiritual progress depends more heavily upon that than, sometimes it's easy to think that, okay, well, my personal purity is what's going to get me there, or my study of the Shastra, my intimate understanding of the Shastra. Yes, that's helpful, and same with purity. Purity is helpful on the spiritual path, but those things don't get us there. Srila Prabhupada says that one who understands the conclusions of Shastra is one who can move forward spiritually. So it's not about knowing every single Sanskrit verse or anything like that. It's much more about, and then so there's the purity. Sometimes we think it's about purity. Sometimes we think it's about Shastra. Sometimes we think it's about our position, so on and so forth, our intelligence. And we have so many beautiful examples that show that this is not what actually gives us success. It's much more, it's the mercy. It's the mercy of Krishna, mercy of the devotees that we're really dependent upon.
Yeah, it's not that, Krishna, I've done my part, I've done my sadhana, I've done my number of shlokas. Where is your mercy? Where is that mercy?
Yeah, I really appreciate that, Ananda Vihar. Yeah, bhakti is independent. We can't will the mercy. Yeah. Otherwise, it's not right. Is it mercy? Otherwise, it's a transaction.
I remember. Hold on. Is there a hand up? No?
I think Bhima Prabhu had a hand up, but I'm not sure.
That's from before. That's from before. He appreciates that he doesn't have to know all the shlokas. I can tell for Bhima Prabhu that he liked that point. Yeah. That's your saving grace, Bhima Prabhu. And
there goes Ananda Bihari again, cutting away. My mercy is Ananda Bihari, always telling me where it's at. That's my mercy, I swear to God. If I didn't have Ananda Bihari, I'd actually think something of myself.
all glories to Bhima Prabhu. Okay, darshan time. Stand up, everybody, if you can. Turn on your camera. Okay, Ishwari Sundaris, thank you. Right. Thank you, Das Prabhu. Is that you? Are you carrying us lovingly? Who's that? Domi? Das? Das. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Okay, this was the class, everybody. Thank you so much. I remember one devotee explained to me this verse where it says that even the moment of association with a pure devotee is invaluable. He said, Radhanath Maharaj is a pure devotee. If you are around Radhanath Maharaj and if he just does this to you, then that's your moment. That will do all the work for you. If Radhanath Maharaj does this to you, that's it. That's all you need. Okay. Would anyone else like to contribute at this point? Okay. Dina Bandhu Prabhu, wonderful class. Thank you so much again. Thank you for your time. I'm thinking 45 minutes.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you.
We got 45 minutes with you, Prabhu. So we have all the mercy that we can use.
Thank you all so much. And thank you for the opportunity. I always appreciate it, Prabhu, reaching out and giving us the chance to come.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. Wonderful class. Adipurusha, Prabhu. It was nice seeing you. Sundaranandaji, I have your hand.
Adipurusha, Prabhu.
Prabhu. Come to New York, get your ticket, Bhima Prabhu.
Haribol.
There's no shortage. Okay, Hare Krishna.